Okay, so no funny animation with this one. But good evening and welcome to what is actually my first Project Cars 2 practice session. And we're getting ready to start the RMSOLO Rocky Mountain Solo Winter Sim Racing Series for 2019 going into 2020. And figured I would get some practice time in with the first 4-week series that we're going to do. If you see on your screen, we're going to be doing the Ford Escort RS1600 Racing Edition, which is a VGT-B car, and thought I would do a variety of tracks, a few minutes maybe at each. The ones that invariably get done and the one that it invariably does get done, even though I'm not exactly super happy about it most of the time, is Laguna Seca. And so let's go ahead and start this. And it's kind of off screen right now, but the fast time's 136.3, and we're not going to reach that. I'll let you know right now. Now, one of the things that we do is that we actually run the stock setup. So I'm going to start with the stable setup just to get the difference here. Run a few laps and see. And don't want to save it. We've loaded that up. Never really liked this interface. And so control wise, I do run with an automatic clutch. I do have a clutch mapped, but honestly it's just easier. Especially for an older style car like this, it's just easier. I'm sure there's reasons for many of the same ones that you use on iRacing to do that, but we're just going to get right out at it and see what we can do here. So this is really just all about getting some familiarity with the car. It is a right-hand drive vehicle. I do have the one thing that definitely I need to figure out maybe is getting the spotter to go to my headphones. To see how that, look at that in a second. So compared to some other cars that we've driven, this is almost like driving a taxi. Going to be very pedestrian laps, I think, this. Hopefully we don't run Laguna Seca too much in this car, because this is, like, really slow. What did I say? The fast time was a 136? Yep. Yeah. So this is the stable setup. I think what I'll do is set some parameters here. So we're going to run 5 laps with the stable. You cannot set the brake bias on this car. It's not that it handles bad, it's just, it's compared to even to the Miata, it's like driving a go-kart around Laguna Seca. Don't know if there's any point shifting down to first, really. Except maybe right here, because this is such a slow corner. And we're already well past the 136 mark, that's for sure. 142. So braking hard at the 2 marker. Just a light feather of the throttle through there. Yeah, don't know if staying in third was the best choice to go up this hill. Just a light lift there. Get back into it. Come to the top of the hill. So I watched the IndyCar race from yesterday today, and trivia fact, that is like a 6-story plunge from the top there down to the bottom here. Looks like we're going to take roughly a second off. Trying to hit those apexes perfectly. Just a little faster. Got down to second that time. Get right back up on the throttle. Alright, looks like we're going to be very close to a second here. Well, half a second. Alright, so that's a 141.5, and that's with a crazy amount of fuel in the car. So let's go back and let's return to the pit box, and we're going to change over to the loose setup. Not going to change anything else. And see if we can beat a 141.5. Heading out, wish I had mapped the windshield wipers. Uh-oh, button stuck. What the? Oh, that's great. Looks like I have a busted switch. Great. Looks like I'm going to have to do some repairs here. Alright, so give it a couple of laps in the loose. Well, I already tell that loose setup seems to want to hold, or I should say, seems to want to turn a lot better. Let's get back around to the beginning and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it seems like that might be faster. Alright, so already picking up time. Definitely takes that corner better. So far we're about neck and neck. Quite sure what's wrong with my Z1 dashboard. Top of the hill, hard braking. Actually got it down to first there. If that was necessary. A lot easier to rotate through there. I think I'm going to keep it in third here. Get back on the gas. So according to PCARS2, I'm about 6 or so tenths up. Yep, that's a 140.9, so that's already faster. Much better turn 1 and 2. Pretty much able to keep on the gas there, so that's definitely better. Just a light tap of the brakes there. A little bit easier. I mean, definitely can tell the car wants to move around more. Keep it in second this time. Get back on the gas. just a little bit better so far in the about the 6/10 range. That's well, about half a second, I should say. Down the low 140s. Definitely try to stay in it there again. So stayed in third gear that time. Third gear there with just a tap on the brakes. Definitely wants to get squirrely under braking. Have to be real careful there. It's a light tap on the brakes with that. Not sure how much time we're going to lose on this. I got 6/10. It's exactly 6/10. So we got down to a 1:39.8. Doing about 3-4 laps, Laguna Seca. So that's not too bad. I mean, we're about 3.5 seconds off of what is probably a low fuel, perfect setup type race. So, all right, let's do this. So we ran through the. Let's see if I can see our times here. Unfortunately, I do not know the best way, if any way, to look at all the different lap times. Huh. Alright, well. So the fastest lap was lap 7 as a 1:39.8. And that was in that loose setup. Actually, a couple of seconds slower with the stable setup. So loose, definitely faster if you can control it in the right conditions. So, all right, let's do this. Let's exit out of here, and that's Laguna Seca. And let's see. Figure we'll look at 3 different tracks that somehow always seem to fall in here. Everybody loves them. I'm not doing the ring. Sorry, just not happening. Let's see. So one of the ones that keeps coming up is actually this Porsche Leipzig on-road circuit, and I don't know if we're going to end up running this one or not. We talked about it last time, and really the only one that is viable is the full circuit. The other two are kind of weird, no pits, no real supporting structure or anything. It's just kind of like a test track, but this actually counts as a full track. So let's run a couple of laps of this one. So 1:49.3 is the current world record. All right, so we're going to start once again with the stable setup. And let's go ahead and get that started.
Okay, mate, take it steady on the outlap all the time before you start pushing hard.
So this is actually a very neat little track for a car like this, in my opinion. Really ought to be a lot of fun if we can. If we can get this one chosen. It's not too technical. Lots of little hairpins. Probably gonna have to see if going down to first is really the fast way to go through with this. Little chicane there. It's definitely one that you have to learn. Might be another place where first gear would be good. Alright, so let's give this a flying lap and see. It's important to remember that you do not come out onto the straight. There is a little complex there that you have to go through to really throw people off. So first hairpin. Down to first, we'll try that. Probably good not to push that too hard through there. Can't imagine this car can handle that. So, little kink here, got to way past it. Feel like that's a little bit faster in second gear. Definitely not a third gear corner. So feather this around, come right up to it, and then hard on the brakes. Actually deceptively simple. Now this, really need to try to keep it out. First gear corner. Looks like it might be a bit of a handful in the loose setup. Tail wants to swing around like that. Okay, so this is that complex. Not sure if third is the best option for it. There's lots of track out here. And considering that you want to try to stay on the throttle, probably obliged to use it. Let's see, I'm all the way up to fourth here. Hard braking. I think that's definitely a first gear corner. Get down to the 50 marker. Get that car around there. Get back on the gas. Past the kink. Don't get on it too much, you'll end up way out. Of course, PCARS2 will invalidate your time. Really just float this around in third gear. Hard down to second. Same thing with this one. Go about 2 seconds faster than the first time around. Feel like we're really super slow though. Down to second that time. Feel like I might be braking a little too hard for that corner. Might try it a little bit differently in the second gear. I didn't really lose any time going down second gear there, so I definitely lost it on that one. Still going faster, but I would have had more time. Wow, just did make that. Okay, so did not finish that on a glorious. So it looks like we got 153. Let's return to the pit box, and we're going to switch over to the loose setup. See if we can't do this any better. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what happened to the insides of my switch. It's just hanging off the backpack there. It's not good. Okay, so this is the corner where I think I think we could definitely pick up some time here because it's such a wide corner that I feel like we can just I don't know, I feel much more comfortable doing that corner in first. I think we're about to find out just how loose this setup's going to be. Seem to handle that pretty well. And so the moral of that story is don't let it catch the curbs. feel like there's going to be many different ways to take that last little complex there. I don't know, I feel like that I still probably need to go down to second, but just enough to get down there, because I picked up some time going through the turn, and I almost immediately lost it. I'm only about a tenth of a second up here. So this one could be fast, I think. Just don't catch that curb. Yep, there it is. Yeah, my potential's not even that great. Yeah, this is a small, tricky track. The loose setup really does not. Wow, it says I've taken and picked up like 8/10 with all that freakiness going on. No question that the loose setup is faster. Just don't know if I can hold on to it for 30 minutes or more. Yeah, this car is super tossable the way this thing goes. And I've invalidated yet another lap time. There you go. I think I was almost 2 seconds up. And it's not helping me. So if I could actually get a valid lap time, I might actually be, so I'm did saying 151.8 so far. That's the Z1 dashboard reporting, where the actual game itself has invalidated my times. My potential, according to the game, is a 152, but that's only taking in valid times. So we'll see how this goes, if we can make it through this little complex without invalidating the time. So I'm definitely slower. So Z1 dashboard says 151s, the game itself 153. According to Z1 dashboard, I'm not going any faster. I think this will just about do it. Yeah, the game still thinks I'm faster, but I don't think I'm faster. So the game says I'm roughly 6 to 7 tenths faster. That seems to be a faster way to do that. So play the game, and Z1 agrees that we are going faster now. However, my potential's still in the 152s. Okay, well, that says that my fastest lap was an even 152, where Z1 dashboard says I did a 151.8. And so let's see. I think we definitely went faster with the loose setup, but we're nowhere near that what was it, 146? It's about 4 seconds behind. Wait, that's 6 seconds. Okay, so let's return to the pit box. exit out of there. And so let's do one more track and then I'll call this session done. I think we've been going live now for about 40 minutes. And maybe this will take us kind of round it out to an hour. Let's see, what's something else we always end up doing or that people have expressed an interest in doing? I think, what was the name of that? Oh boy, totally drawing a blank. That's just what I need. It's not Alton Park. Oh boy. I know the name of this one and I cannot remember it. If I see it, I'll know it. It's Cadwell Park. That's what it was. Let's look at Cadwell Park and let's do. This is the full GP circuit. I feel like that's going to be really long for this track. So that's 0.7 miles. Let's split the difference and look at the club circuit. All right, might be a good fit. Hit start. So Cadwell Park Club. I don't think I've driven this circuit before, so I have no idea. 106s, 106 and a half. So let's load up the stable setup. So that's interesting. There doesn't appear to be a pit. Huh. That won't trip anybody up. So the thing that the GP actually circuit might not be too bad for this. I don't know if we're going to run circuits that don't have pits. Not sure how you do that. I mean, this is a neat little kind of motorsport park circuit. You know, you're driving through, you got the RVs, you got the elevation changes. Very quickly, going to hairpin. Yes, that is absolutely going to result in someone dying. Absolutely. Totally missing that apex. So it's a neat little fun track. I just don't know if it's the kind of thing you want to race on. I mean, I don't know, but just seems a bit iffy to me. It's a very easy track to learn, I will say that. Considering I've never raced on it. We're talking about 110s, 111s. And this is the stable setup. And I botched it. And there you go. Definitely don't want to go over that hill. Alright. Let's restart that. And so we're going to switch. So that fast time is 111s? 111 even, really? So let's load the loose setup and do a few laps of this circuit and see where that ends up. So loose. Definitely do not know how this works without a pit. That is a crazy tight hairpin. Miatas would find that hard to navigate. So I think the trick here was to not get too out of shape. Okay, so I think that's the line. I mean, this could definitely be a nice, fun track. But without pits. So there's a 109. Car almost did a 360 on me. Somehow managing to still go faster. So I don't know if staying in third gear at the top of this hill I guess it is not faster. Definitely staying in third gear there. Is definitely faster. So low 109s. I didn't really do that one all that well. Oh, 2/10 down. And now we're about 2/10 up. Wow, scrubbed off all that speed I had. Definitely not doing that corner right. Almost faster. Definitely getting around the hairpin good, but that was a much better lap. Still scrubbed off a little bit of speed. Gotta remember that I'm actually in fourth going up this hill. Well, look at that. We made it into the made it into the 1.8s. So we're definitely a lot closer. to the record time on this track, but it probably has to do with the fact that it's relatively simple and doesn't require much in the way of talent. All right, well, we'll call that one. So definitely in all three cases, loose setup is much faster. And it looks like we're going on exactly 1 hour here, so it's a nice, interesting, long video. Yep, 1084. So loose setup, certainly, and it prefers small, tight tracks. There you go. All right, well, and with that, I think I'm going to call my first Project Cars RMSOLO practice session done. Don't know how many of these I'm actually going to do. Probably just showcasing the car. Like I said, the first 4-week series is going to be this guy right here. And there's nothing special about this car. It's a classic, obviously, 1971. It's actually a year older than I am. Not a lot of power. It's lighter than the Miata, but actually has a lot more power than a standard Miata does too, especially early Miatas. But overall, not super great acceleration, not a super high top speed, but it's an easy car. It's good for people that are just starting out. And they're a lot of fun, both front wheel drive cars and rear wheel drive cars like this that are really tossable and they're fun to drive. They're not too complex, and we generally have a lot of fun of those. So with that, go ahead and close this out. And there's the end card if you're watching, whether you're an RMSOLO guy here in Colorado with me, or if you are just a PCARS2 guy and you're watching just for fun and information. Thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the videos, and I appreciate you being here. So have a good night.